Yo, what's up, everybody? We are back. I am Marks McDuffie, the owner of Aion Training and the host of the Live, Love, Live podcast. Joined here once again by my co-host, Sean. Oh man, represent,
Yeah,
represent. Hell yeah.
hit him with it.
Sean, I don't want to take up too much at the beginning here. This is actually one that you brought up to me from one of our monthly member check-ins. So, want to pass it over to you and just let you kick it on off.
First off, thank you so much to everybody who submitted one of those. I read every one. I know Marcus does. We bring it to our coaches meeting. It is, I'm not kidding, one of my favorite parts of the month, just because sometimes I feel like as a coach, you can feel so much like you're speaking to the void, and to be able to answer these specific questions is incredible. And it also challenges you as a coach, which I love too. You asking these questions makes me dust off things that I knew in the past, revisit things that I want to learn more about in the future. So first off, thank you very much. I love that we generate user, questions, and it's what makes our community special. Within this, I chose this one because it's actually something that I've been paying more mind to lately, and also came up from a few members, and it's all about hydration and daily water intake. Right now, for some of our members, we're going through this 6-week transformation, and so I always like to do things with the members. Like if we're going to say it, let's do it to ourselves as coaches. And so one of the big things that I put on my docket list was to get better at daily water intake and hydration overall. And so within that, the question that we had from a member was, how can I get better at remembering or reminding myself to drink water through the day? And having recently gone through this, I have some cool strategies that I'd like to share. And I know Marcus has some as well.
Some field research.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first one that I've done that's super effective is, like anything in life, if you want to do something, have it around you more often. I have this big, cumbersome Yeti bottle that I love. I'm a big Yeti fan. And so every night before I go to bed, I've now instituted the habit. I fill it up and I put it on the bedstand right over my head. So the first thing I do in the morning when my alarm goes off in the dark and I'm trying not to wake my partner Becca up is I fumble around for my phone, I grab it, and on the way up, my hand hits my water bottle. I go, all right, drink water, right? So I get up. And what I like to do, just because I've noticed, not only does it help me more easily get to my water goal in a way that's not distracting from my workflow, my day, but also I feel incredible as I try to drink half of that in the first like hour or hour and a half that I'm up. And for me, that's right around 32 ounces. Doesn't really matter what it is, but just having like a good vessel and being like, hey, I'm going to drink half of this in the first hour, 2 hours when I wake up in the morning. It makes me feel so good. I notice the difference when I do it, when I don't. My whole day, the way I approach it is different. And then the other thing with that is, which I think is an effective strategy in anything you do, is that idea of like habit coupling, right? So if I wake up in the morning and, my habit is to brush my teeth the first thing or whatever it is, have the water bottle next to that. Look at a habit you're already successfully doing with consistency and just sandwich it on, put a water bottle next to it. And then I think within that too, it's again, how can I get ahead of my busy day? For me, if I'm coaching on the floor, it's harder for me to break and take big sips of water, whatever the recommendation is. Like take a sip of water every 20 minutes. Like it's not gonna happen. So I front load, get over half my water requirement done for the day in the first 2 hours, and then I have more margin and room for error depending on how stressful my day is.
Yeah, man. I think, man. So it's really cool as you were talking through this. I was like taking down little notes because so much of that is just things that like we've told our peeps and that apply to so much else outside. Where it's like you really start to step back and you're like, it's a lot of the same thing. Like that water in the morning. I think we've talked about this. I don't know if we've done a podcast first, but this whole thing of like take care of yourself first thing in the morning. Like
Yeah.
every single day, find something small that's like a version of you taking care of you. And like, yeah, the water probably, it does make you feel really good just because your body's like, all right, finally. But I think it
Yeah.
is also like the act of you going, hey, like I'm important. I care about my body. Let's start this day off like that,
Pretty
instead
much.
of,
Yep.
all right, I'm going to jump straight into work or whatever else it may be.
Right to coffee or whatever that is.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna shove the caffeine in first and not do the thing that's important. You're right. It is such just like a mentality thing that kicks the day off nice.
Yeah. It's like what are you putting out there to the world that you care about, right? The second piece about the habit stacking, like, yeah, I think a lot of people we've done a lot of episodes recently on habits, and I'm it's so funny that one didn't come up at all, right? But
Yeah.
it's such a easy thing, not easy. It makes the process easier. Adding in a new thing in a random time is hard, but like you said, going every time I do this is much easier, right? Like for me, I couldn't meditate by itself for years. I tried for like 2 or 3 years, it never stuck. And then I just went every time I work out, I'm not leaving till I meditate. And now like it's been 4 or 5 times a week, every single week. So I think that's such a powerful thing. And the last thing, like I said, there's so much you said in that little piece about what you've been doing that just people can pull and use so much more of it, but just front
Yeah.
loading, right? Where for a lot of people, if it's protein or something like that that they struggle to get in, hey, don't try to, maybe if you can't get consistent meals throughout the day. We used to have one guy, Greg, and he would just take a 2 scoop of protein drink every morning. And it was like, he was like, hey, I know I may not hit my number if I just try to get it through food. So I'm going to start my day off like this. And then the rest of it throughout the day feels a lot easier. Right.
Yep.
So I think it's all those big things that you look at of habit stacking, of front loading, of how do you take care of yourself and start the day that really, yeah, I didn't know that was going to come up from it, but it's some cool pieces that members can use for other things in their life as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think again the big thing is like with anything, having a range is really effective. So for me, it's like it's one thing to be like I must drink 128 ounces a day. Have a range, that's how the body works. If you fall within an acceptable range, you're okay. And then it doesn't need to be this life or death situation where it's like, well, I drank 126, so why might I not even do it tomorrow? I think again the reason why I love water as a habit, to Marcus's point, is it's easily plug and play to any other habit that you have in your life because it's a daily habit that if you maintain consistency with it will make you feel better and you will be healthier from it. But I think again, pairing it with daily activities, one of the ones I also started doing is looking at ways to like this is funny, spice up the way I intake water, right? For me, I love caffeine. Everybody who knows me knows that. And so, I used to be drinking like Diet Coke and stuff like that. And what I really learned was it wasn't necessarily the Diet Coke that my brain was after, it was more like the bubble and the fizz. So I went to sparkling water.
Hey,
All of a sudden, there you go. All of a sudden at dinner now, instead of, and I wasn't really a soda guy, but instead of having any other else, I have like a can or 2 cans of sparkling water.
yeah.
And then again, there's 24 more ounces towards my water goal, just really simply, built into my day. I don't know if you were insane and don't drink liquid with your dinner, but I have to. And so it's always like a sparkling water. And again, it's just looking at ways. I know some members have told me they've had success with like water additives, which can work. Like if you're a person who's like, I hate the taste of water, getting some 0-calorie water additive, just again to make it easier, right? If you don't like something, what's a way to entice the body and the brain to do it consistently is to make it appealing and pleasing, right?
Yeah.
Which again, if we're looking at a big bird's eye view, with any habit, that's how you have consistency. I mean, that's what we do in the studio with exercise, right? People objectively think exercise is hard, they don't like it. And so it's like, hey, if I can make you love exercise again, are you going to want to do it more consistently? I'm not a betting man, but I'll probably bet yes.
Yeah.
So I think those are just the more easy strategies to, again, just add to existing things you're doing. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. It's never gonna be as effective as just plugging it onto things you're already doing well.
Yeah, and I think too, man. Like another thing that comes out of this is just right. Like I think perception of things, because a lot of
Mhm.
people, let's take it to something else like fitness. Oh, I tried this one thing and it didn't work for me, so I stopped. Right, and in our cases, because I also did the same thing of like I wasn't drinking as much water as I wanted to, but then I started to drink sparkling waters, and then adding the other like water that I wanted to do was a lot easier. But what if we would have went, oh well, this thing is just too hard. So I think finding the thing that works well for you, and you only find that thing through failure. It gets paid through failure, right? Like if you're not trying to do these things that are bettering your life, then hey, yeah, you might not fail. You'll be safe, but you won't be healthy. You won't be where you want to be. So you got to expose yourself to that. And then yeah, just on a more simple one, I'll say we get these like Sparklets delivery things, and they used to last the whole 2 weeks. And we did two things that shifted it. We bought these big, kind of like the ones you have, like the big Yeti, and then we got these Element hydration packets. And now
Yeah,
that water barely lasts a week because, like, it's hey, I have this big thing. I don't have to worry about, oh, I drank my little thing and now I don't have any water. It's like I'm
right.
set for the day. It tastes really good. and I'm like good to go, So I think it is really, from all the things we've said on there today, I challenge you all. I always say challenge, implore. Oh, there we go. More graceful. You all to just like find something that works well for you, and just like, that's actually it. That's the fun. The fun is finding what works well for you instead of getting to the goal. Like, just try it out. Have some fun to end the year and get your hydration on. So, my peeps. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you want to send us what you ended up choosing for your water, or you just want to post a little picture in the Facebook group sipping on your Miller's lemon lime sparkly, you could do that as well. So thanks all for listening today. If you are a current member, I hope to see your beautiful face in the gym very soon. If not, and you are looking to join us and get your water on and everything else, click the link below or find out more at aiontraining.com. And we'll see you all next week.
Glug, glug, baby.
There we go. And we're out.